Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, hi Ravish, how are you?
I'm good. You tell me, how are you?
I'm also doing good. So, how was your day so far?
Day looks okay since today's Saturday again. It looks a little relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Okay. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking there, Ravish. Right. So, I guess we're meeting for the very first time here.
Yes, for the first time.
Okay.
Correct.
And how long is your journey with English Yaari now?
I think it's going to be my seventh session, I suppose.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how has the experience been?
Oh, I would say it's so far so good. I've been
Mm-hmm.
enjoying sessions with a lot of people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, since I am meeting with you for the very first time, so I would like to know a bit about you. So, who's Ravish Kumar? Is it Kumar Ravish or Ravish Kumar?
My name is Kumar Ravish.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
right.
oh, okay. So, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yes, I do want to know a bit about you there.
Okay. So, yeah, my name is Kumar Ravish, and I'm a working professional. I have been working here in Noida, I think for last 11, 12 years
Mm-hmm,
with an IET staffing company. We hire
mm-hmm,
people from US.
mm-hmm,
And basically, I'm from Bihar. However, currently I'm living in Noida.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm here to brush up my conversational skills. So
All
that's about
right.
me. Yeah, why don't you tell a little about yourself?
Of course, I would like to. So, I'm Sidra Ravish, and even I'm put up in New Delhi. Currently, I'm here in Noida. And that is
Oh, wow.
where, yeah, I am basically from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. My entire schooling, qualification, everything was from Bhopal itself. So I hold my master's for myself, that is in English literature, and since last 7 years, I'm working as a communication and soft skills trainer. So that's about me.
Wow.
And if I talk about my entire experience, that stretches for almost 10 years now, wherein I'm into teaching domain. Initially, I started with kids, their public speaking skills, and then I shifted my domain to communication and a soft skills training. So that's about me, Kumar. Okay, so like you mentioned, that you want to brush up your communication skills. So, what is the loophole that you're seeing at present in your communication skills? Is there any?
There are a lot, actually. Okay, so even the other day I was discussing with one of the tutors. Even she asked the same question, like, where do you fall behind? What is the area that you need yourself to be improved?
Mhm,
So all I said is, I there are so many areas again, but what I have picked one is, I always wanted to use idioms and phrases during my conversation, and that's
mhm,
one thing which will enhance your English speaking experience, right? So,
mhm,
yeah, I think I have jotted down a couple of things. I mean, like, probably hundreds, around hundreds of idioms and phrases. But when it comes to using them during my conversation, there are a couple of things which I just wanted to tell you, is that either you don't get the environment where you can use all these highly flown languages, or probably idioms and phrases. And the second thing is, yeah, I mean, you don't find those words or phrases, or you might not know the exact appropriate use of all those idioms and phrases during the conversation. So that's one thing I'm struggling, and I just wanted to improve and brush up. Um, so yeah, that's probably the areas where I need improvement
So it's
for
probably
now.
that you want to go in with more idioms and phrases in your conversation, Kumar.
A little bit again. I mean, since I've not been using consciously. So all I want is, yeah, I mean, if you're able to use them, that's again something, I think, cherry on your cake. So, hello, I'm really sorry. Actually, light went off. So as my internet. So I apologize for that.
That's okay. That's okay. There are heavy storms out here in Noida, if in case you are residing in the same area.
Yes, right.
Yes, even I'm facing those connectivity issues as of now. Right. Okay. So that's good to hear about you, Kumar, and that is where we surely are going to have a conversation together so that we can work a little more towards upgrading your communication skills and upscaling them for a little level longer. Okay. So, like you've taken almost 7 sessions here, so you must be very well versed with the ritual that we follow, or probably the tradition that we follow of going to the sessions document before coming to the session. So, have you been through one today?
I just looked at it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think teenage is something, probably a topic for today's discussion,
Yes.
right?
So,
Okay.
is it like you're good to go with the topic, or would you like discussing something else that's something that you have to decide? The ball is in your court.
I think we can discuss. I mean, since there's a topic and since we have to talk about something, so why not teenage? Then we can, of
Okay.
course, we can talk about it.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So, how did your teenage looked like, Kumar? How was your teenage?
Oh, okay. All I remember is I was not very good at studies, I believe. So I was, I mean, sort of average student, I would consider myself. I
Mm-hmm.
had certain areas where I thought I would improve. English was one of them. And I had very limited friends that point in time as well, even today as well. So I am not somebody who takes the accountability or probably responsibility and go out and talk to anybody for that matter. I'm kind of little reluctant in that sense. So I think, but overall, I think I always wanted to strive in the field where there was a chance of improvement. Like I later I realized that okay, study is something which is very important in today's life. One has to be really serious about it. One should look at the positive aspects of it. So then I realized, and then I probably concentrated a little bit, and then I went on to going ahead with my studies. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm comparatively I did well as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's what I remember when it comes to teenage. Um, yeah,
Okay.
or if you'd like to share something, maybe.
Oh, I was a very jolly kind of a person. I was very outgoing and I was fun loving at that point of time. I did a hell lot of mistakes in my teenage, wherein I apologized multiple times, not only to my parents, but even to my guardians, my teachers there. So I was a person who loved to explore new things out there. I was a person who was like, I need to do this mistakes because I need to learn something new from this. So I was a kind
Right.
of a person there. Never introvert for that matter, always going and outspoken with people, talking anything and everything that crosses my mind and my tongue out there. So my teenage went plain as a day. So I was like, there were no flaws as per mine because I learned a lot of things in my teenage there.
Awesome.
But if I talk about yours, that was pretty confined. Like you only remember that you weren't good in studies and you were not the person who would reach out to a person for the very first approach. Somebody has to come up to you and talk to start a conversation there.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's something I remember. I'm still struggling a little bit because introvert and extrovert is something that probably nobody can achieve over the period of time because it's something the character that defines your probably ability to reach out to people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing bad and good about it.
No,
It's
that's
just that
nothing bad.
the
Yes,
yeah,
it's
it's just
just
about the
how you
characteristics.
how you shape yourself up. So that's
Exactly.
completely that
So
point.
yeah, but when it comes to being extrovert, I think there are certain positive aspects of it, right? And one should go out and approach people, despite of the fact that people might not are approachable most of the times. It's just that the ability to reach out to people and then break the ice for yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is one of the characters that one should imbibe
Mm-hmm.
when you are a professional. I think when you go up the ladder, that helps you at certain point in time. And I would probably say that most of the times, then it's very helpful, right? It's just that you don't want to go out and talk to people. You don't want to take initiatives. You don't want to you know uh, be upfront and talk to them, and you will realizing that what's going to be the repercussion or what's going to be the consequences. Maybe somebody will respond, somebody wouldn't. So going everything, in minds, probably in everyone's mind, I believe. So
Mm-hmm.
there are, even I have seen a lot of people who are so outspoken, they are so confident, they go out and talk to you, they'll greet you, and they'll they'll start the conversation with a lot of alacrity and confidence. So that's great thing, and which I really admire, and I always want, or I would say I envy those characteristics.
Oh, you envy
And
those characteristics? Oh, there's nothing to
yes,
envy. Try
absolutely.
inculcating it in your personality there, Kumar.
Absolutely, that's what exactly I wanted to develop as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I had to say.
So you're the same today as well. You don't reach out to people very easily. You don't like putting up your points unnecessarily. If somebody is asking you, only then you are open to the conversation. Are you the same as of now?
I think as a person, I've improved a little bit, but even today also, I feel kind of when there's a dull talk happening, going around, or something which does not make sense to me, I probably avoid, or I do not get myself indulged into it. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but yes, I feel like I really don't like people sometimes when they talk something nonsense. I'm sorry to use this word, or probably which does not make much
Something
sense.
that is irrelevant
So
of your interest, probably you
irrelevant,
can put
yeah,
it this way, so
yeah,
that the other person who might be listening to you do not feel offended for that matter. So something that is
yes,
irrelevant of my interest, so that
correct.
is somewhere down the line I would not be putting in my interest. Okay, okay, so that's pretty fine. There are a lot of people who have this same personality aspect and trait I've been with. Okay. So when I talk
Great.
about your teenage, Kumar, who was the closest out of your friends, your family? Who was the closest person that you remember or recall now when you think about your teenage?
I had one of my friends, I was very close to him, and there were others as well. There, I think, 4 5 people I still remember, and even I talk to them as well very often than not. Whenever I get the chance. Um, but yeah, one out of them, one was very close. But uh, as the day progresses, you get yourself involved into different activities, right? You have your own life, somebody has own life, and then
Hmm.
you don't get a lot of opportunity to talk and get in touch with people. So over the period of time, so that's happening with me as well, I believe. So we are not in touch anymore. But yes, I remember, like you asked this question. Like I was very close to one of my friends. We used to share a lot of things and information, ideas, and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if I talk about your family, who was the closest in your family to you?
I think parents are very close. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
have kids as well, so yeah, uh, very close. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, probably it's very hard to segregate, or probably quote one or choose one, because family is something that wherein there are a lot of other people as well, right? Your sister, your mother, father, and probably your wife, kids, and everybody, right? So yeah, it's hard for me, to quote one or choose one. I
All
like
right.
every.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's so nice of you then. So if I go back to my memory lane there, if I talk about my teenage, I wasn't close to my parents at that point of time at all, because
Okay.
I did a lot of things which I didn't felt that need to be told to my parents for that matter. So I was the closest to my brother.
Okay.
He was 4 years elder to me, and that is where he was the partner in my crime. So anything and everything, he was the one who knew everything about me. And if in case I am stucking up somewhere, he was the one who could pull me out of that particular part. So not my parents, of course, not as lucky as you, Kumar, I would say. But then yes, I was closest to my brother there. Right.
Awesome.
And do you remember something about your teenage wherein you should share that particular incident with me, which I could even go through the to the lane there when you were a teenage person? Anything that you can recall from your school days, probably, or from your college days, anything.
I don't remember specifically. Sorry. Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, there's one incident which was very, you know hilarious, or something that I should share on this platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So not specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to
Right.
share something which you is probably
Oh,
something which.
I have a list. I have a list. Whenever I talk about this topic, I do have a long list of my affairs that I had during my teenage. So probably all those are very basic and very common, like kids do. But then that is something which I always cherish from my teenage memory lane there. Right. So apart from this, Kumar, do you think that if I talk about teenage as of now, the kids that are growing now and the kids that we were, what difference do you see? Is it a sensitive age? Do parents approach kids differently now as compared to when we were teenage kids? Do you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I talk about today's teenagers, um, since we all know that it's a phase of adolescence, right, wherein uh, you are transitioning towards adulthood.
Hmm.
So there are certain hurdles, I would say, or impediments that are there in today's life, which we experience a lot of time. Is that I think ever since the technology has probably taken our place, right? And talk about the phones nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the, the teenagers are really susceptible today. I mean, I mean, most of the times they like to invest. Sorry, spend a lot of hours on phones,
Right.
um, and they really find it hard to share their feelings with their parents, their families, their friends, for that matter, and always glued, uh, in phones, uh, chatting with somebody, or probably on different media platforms, uh, messaging and doing probably a lot of other stuffs which you might not
Understood.
like
Yes.
at certain point in time, and
Mm-hmm.
that can, I think, that can ruin your relationship, I believe. I've seen a lot of kids, especially, they're not, I think, outspoken, or they don't share a lot of things which we used to do back then, when we were growing up. And I think the second thing that comes to my mind is people. I mean, people are under pressure now. Teenagers are really, uh, you know, feel themselves like they're under pressure, or performance maybe, and that leads to a lot of mental disorders. I think anxiety, and when somebody's not able to score good at school, or probably
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of competitive exams wherein there is a huge competition, gut wrenching competition, right? When people have a lot of expectation from their parents and families, so at that point in time, when somebody's not able to live up to their expectations, they've hard time, getting themselves indulged into um, stress or mental stiffness or stigma, whatever you call it, right? So there's a high chance they ruin their lives at certain point in time. And if I have to quote other, like alcohol is one big thing nowadays. It's probably everyone's choice nowadays. Whenever I see people when they are in their 20s, uh, they like going out with friends and smoke very often than not, and then consume a lot of alcohol. So that's a big concern, I think, and which we didn't have, we never experienced when we were growing. So these are the major changes which I'm experiencing these days, where that could lead to a lot of effects, after effects, or probably, the bad results after all, and lack of concentration. There are so many other things as well, which can jeopardize their lives at certain point in time.
Right.
So yeah,
But mhm.
yeah, for me, I
But
think these
on
are the major
contrary,
areas.
but on contrary, if I talk about kids today, they're way more smarter than we were. They're way more eligible than we were, and that is where they can reach up to the places wherein we, at the age of 18 and 90, perhaps take time to reach up. So
Absolutely,
they're way more smarter than us. Technologies
absolutely,
have helped them out a lot in that matter. I totally agree with the societal changes that are taking place, of course, and that's affecting a lot of adolescents, and that's affecting a lot of teenage kids there. But then yes, the manner of tackling the kids now and the manner of tackling the kids when we were one is upside down. It's totally different. right?
Correct.
So that is where, of course, I would have loved to taken this conversation forward, Kumar, so that we could have discussed a little more things about this. But then, because the time is very restricted, before I end up and wrap there, Kumar, I just want to tell you one very quick feedback that I could notice in the session today. Okay, although you're going good, although your grammatical concerns are appropriate, they're falling into place as of now. So far, we have been discussing for almost half an hour now. The only problem that I come across is that you are in a habit of using a lot of fillers in your conversation. There's a lot of and it's like in the conversation. The only thing which I came across in the entire conversation, although we all are in a use of that particular fillers, but then if it's repeatedly happening in your conversation, that probably gives your audience an idea that you're not very confident with your content that you're trying to deliver to your audience. Okay, so this is one of the major things that I really want you to start working upon from the very moment. Apart from this, I don't find problems in your pronunciation, I don't find problems in your grammar, I don't find problem in your body language. Your non-verbal aspects are pretty strong here. Okay, but then the fillers is one major concern that I would really want to raise up here when I'm talking to you. And what do you need to say about this?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Even I realize that a certain point in time when I'm using fillers, that can create your conversation, and there's a bad impression, right? When you're using something very often,
Yeah.
kind of fillers in your conversation. So I really, I that's already into my notice. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you again for bringing this, before me, or highlighting
Anytime.
those, yeah, highlighting those fillers. And I think overall, I will certainly, I will go ahead and work on them.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, it was great talking to you. And hopefully,
Same here.
since we're running out of time, maybe we'll connect some other time.